Major breaking news happening in the world of recruiting for the Miami Hurricanes. Mark Matthews, the number one offensive tackle in America, who had a scheduled visit to Miami at the end of the month. The official visit had been talked about by him, and after his in home visit by the University of Miami. Well, Mark Matthews is now apparently deciding to push up his commitment date. We're here to talk about it. Hit the intro. Welcome back, everyone, to another edition of Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. I am your host, Rudy Rodriguez Showmont. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring that bell, leave your comments. Let us know your thoughts, man, because right now we have major breaking news. Mark Matthews has decided to make his decision on May 15th. May 15th, the 6'6", 300-pound offensive tackle will choose between LSU, Miami, Texas A&M, and Georgia. Number one offensive tackle in the class of 2027 on every website. He had said that he would be holding off his decision on a commitment, and now apparently that has changed again. That is why the world of recruiting, the world of college football is such a headache, because these guys change their minds like the weather. It's utterly ridiculous and tiresome. As someone who watches this stuff, this is why I do not cover recruiting directly, and I never will again, because when I did it for a long time, I hated every moment of it. It is what it is, man. But welcome back, everyone, to Hurricanes Unfiltered. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, leave your comments. Let me know your thoughts of the breaking news that's going on. We found out last night, so while we were doing Hurricanes Unfiltered live, for those that jumped on, definitely appreciate y'all jumping on. But we were live. I was live with Anthony Aguirre from Roundtable Miami. He's the Miami Hurricanes beat writer for Roundtable, and it had popped up like, oh damn, Mark Matthews has changed his mind again. I mean, this is par for the course in the recruiting world. Changing of the mind, changing of the mind, changing of the mind. Again, just a week ago, he said that he was things had seemingly changed, and now all of a sudden we're doing this crap all over again with Mark Matthews. Is he gonna flip back to Miami again? We don't know. Flip flop, flip flop, flip flop. He had not committed anywhere. I don't know if anyone saw Olubobola committing to Notre Dame, but he committed to Notre Dame today, and now we have Mark Matthews again on the radar. This to me is I got to be real. This is a critical situation for the Miami Hurricanes. You don't like to overthink it, overdo it, overreact, blase. But when you have a player of this nature, a player of this caliber in your backyard, losing him outside of your area would be embarrassing, in my opinion. Yeah, I'll say it. You cannot lose the number one player in the country when he's in your backyard. That is what's going on right here. If Mark Matthews is to choose, number one offensive tackle, number three player in the country, that is what is to happen if Mark Matthews was to decide to go and play for Texas A&M. That, again, it would be, in my opinion, catastrophically bad. And what would the Hurricanes do next if that was to be the case? I'll tell you right now, off the rip, what I would do if I am the Miami Hurricanes. And here's the thing. Here is the thing at the end of the day. Recruiting does not end today. This is a commitment in May. Miami just flipped Dante Wright from Georgia. These schools, you continue to recruit the guy. If you want the guy, you keep recruiting him. It's that simple. It's not complicated. It's not complicated, because literally as of May 10th, he was going to be taking a visit to Miami. And so it's like it's all over the place with this dude. Everything that I had been told, this guy was going to be a Miami. He was a for sure Miami dude. From people that I know over at my kids' school and over at St. Thomas. And then all of a sudden you hear, oh, there's a flip of the crystal ball to Texas A&M. Why would you want to go there? For what reason would you want to go to Texas A&M? Miami just busted Texas A&M's ass in their backyard. Miami just sent 3 dudes from the offensive line to the NFL. Hell, 4 if you include James Brockermeyer, who was an undrafted free agent with the Atlanta Falcons. Like literally just happened. Like and so I don't get it. Obviously, the bag is big. I don't know how big the bag is. I'm sure it's sizable in nature. It would be unbelievably disappointing, to say the least, if he was to commit to Texas A&M. But the decision will now be made on Friday at 5:30 on 247 Sports, CBS Sports, 5:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. It says from his high school at St. Thomas Aquinas. This is obviously a huge decision, a huge announcement, and one that has major implications for the Miami Hurricanes. You cannot lose out now on the top 2 of the top 3 or the top 2 offensive tackles in the country. Miami's been chasing after this guy, recruiting this guy relentlessly. In his house last week, he's supposed to visit. Now what happens with the visit? What if he selects Texas A&M? What if he makes that decision and commits to Texas A&M? Is he still going to visit Miami on an official visit at the end of the month? I mean, the man's been to Miami to so many damn times for unofficial visits in his backyard. What could an official visit to Miami? What difference could an official visit to Miami make at this point? Would it make any difference whatsoever? I don't know. And would he even keep the visit on the table? Again, I don't know. That said, the scouting report on Matthews is very clear. Athletic offensive tackle with quickness and mobility to eventually man the hot corner at the game's highest levels. Still far from a complete product after starting prep career off as a defensive lineman, but it has extremely encouraging stretches on tape while facing stiff competition, fires out of his stance and initiates contact, moves with excellent balance and posture, extends the arc in pass sets with an elite kick side, will unlock the hips on angle move blocks and get his head around, darts into space when asked to climb and looks to finish, must continue to improve technique and work on hand placement, but is a natural knee bender with rare big man twitch who's very young for the grade, likely to face an initial adjustment period, but projects as a multi-year starter for a college football playoff contender with early round of NFL draft upside. Look, man, Miami can't lose this guy, but look, let's say it happens. Let's say it happens. What would be next for Miami? Where would the Canes turn to? Because um if you look at Miami's current recruiting class for this season, according to 247, they're number 11 overall, and they have Sean Tatum on their board as an offensive tackle and Tyler Ford as an offensive tackle. But let's be real. Mark Matthews is a level above these dudes. So obviously we have some guys already committed, but Mark Matthews is a level above these dudes. You'd like to see the Hurricanes get a top 5 recruiting class. Right now they have, 3 5-star commitments in Dante Wright, Nick Lanier, and Israel Abrams, depending on the draft site, on the recruiting site. So they do have 3 big time dudes, but they are number 11 right now. And on 247, it's listed as 1 5-star, when the reality is you see other sites with them as 3 5-stars. So numbers matter. How many numbers would they bring in for freshmen in comparison to transfer guys? You'd like to see them get in the top 5. I don't think they're a number. I don't think there's always a way to get to number 1, but I don't think there's a real way to get to number 1. You don't have enough. You're not gonna have enough numbers here. Their average grade per guy right now is, what was it, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, sixth. So their average grade of 90.91 per player for their 11 commitments is actually 6th. So numbers do matter, and if you have the best class or not, blase, blase. Um, so what is said on 24/7 Sports Inside the U, go check them out. What they're saying right now is another name to know on the offensive line is one by the name of Jatori Williams. Jatori Williams is out of Phoenix City, Alabama. He is an interior offensive lineman, though he is not an offensive tackle. It says Eric Mirabal and Miami look to put a bow on the class with Jatori Williams. Miami's sky high on him. He's not listed Alabama as a top 5, but obviously Alabama can always be in the picture when you're from Alabama. He's 6'5", 320. He's a 4-star offensive guard. He has a 92 grade. I'm sorry, 92 grade, 92nd nationally in the 247 sports, 104 in the composite, number 7 in the country nationally and the interior line. So offensive guard, basically. So obviously Miami's going to be looking to go after him. I mean, they're already looking to go after this guy as it is. But again, you want Mark Matthews. You need Mark Matthews. And I'm not going to sit here and pussyfoot around. If they don't get Mark Matthews, it'll be a massive disappointment. So obviously, major news. He's moved up his commitment date to May 15th, this Friday at 5:30 at St. Thomas Aquinas. We'll see what happens. We'll let you know what happens as soon as we find out. Would love to be at St. Thomas for this, but I got some stuff I got to do that day. So I'll be able to get home and watch the commitment and all that stuff. So y'all let me know y'all thoughts in the comments. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell, hype the video, and of course, subscribe to both the channels. Come on now, podcast and Hurricanes Unfiltered. Appreciate y'all. Again, this is Hurricanes Unfiltered, powered by Come On Now, the podcast. Come on now.